kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live telling my story, speaking my truth, and a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children, and I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied, because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that video, and it's been quite a bit, it's been in my algorithm quite a bit. I've also seen other videos where he's kind of clarified the situation between the so-called baby mamas and illegitimate children is what you would call it. And I want to give my opinion about it. But first, I want to say that he actually did have one blood test done, or one DNA test done with one of the children, which by one of the women, it was done by one of the women who was married. She was married, literally. And that's interesting. But anyway, he did find out that that is his child, and that's a confirmed baby. We got 6 more to go, I guess. But anyway, so I think that both parties have equal responsibility, and they're both perpetuating a narrative that has just been very detrimental to not only the Black community, but just the single mother narrative in general is detrimental to society. And I think that it's because, why I know it's because two parents should be in the child's life. You should be family planning before you just pop out kids. And those kids are going to be the result of your bad choices, and they're going to have to pay for that later on in life. There's going to be certain things that you can't provide them as a mother, or certain things that they'll miss out on that will stagger their development and possibly cause them to have issues later on in life. Now, I'm not saying all children that are raised by one parent, a single mother, are bad children. But what I'm saying is you want to create the best situations or the best scenarios for your kids before bringing them into this world, right? Anyway, so I was looking up having children out of wedlock and just the problems that can arise, not just for the parents, but for the children. And I wanted to give you just a few that I think are very important. I also want to talk about the term wedlock, because I think people just don't know what it is, because single motherhood is glorified so much today. So having children out of wedlock is basically you're not married. You're basically not doing family planning. You're not married at all. You haven't created any type of agreement with the other person prior to having children. And so one of the things I would say is a big factor when it comes to having kids out of wedlock or having kids being raised in a single mother household is lack of protection. That man that you have children with, or that you choose to have children with, is going to play a big part in just not just stopping predators if they were to actually try to come onto your property, but scaring predators away. People prey on women when it's just the woman in the household and the kids are there as well without the father. And I mean, think about it. If you were a robber, if you were a kidnapper, if you were a trafficker, would you go to a house where there's a 6-foot man that could probably potentially whoop your behind? Or you're going to go to a house where there's just a woman and kids? You're going to go where the woman and kids are. No brainer. So lack of protection for the children is a big one. Financial instability. If you think about a woman who decides, I'm going to be a strong person and raise these kids all on my own. Okay, well, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But then you're also going to run into possible financial troubles. Yes, Big Daddy government does bail you out. But in reality, don't you want to have some type of savings set up for your kids? Don't you want to have a business that you can pass along to your children? Don't you want to create generational wealth for your children? Just saying. And lastly, I would say is emotional instability. This one is a big one because if you got a dude that has emotional instability, he's not only a danger to himself, he's a danger to society. If a man can't control his emotions, yeah, he's an emotional man, but that doesn't make him softer when it comes to his blow, when it comes to his fist, when it comes to the ability to destroy or destruct. So we want these men to be stable. We want them to be masculine. Masculinity brings on restraint. And you can't teach that from a woman to a young man. It's just not really possible. So if you are a woman that does have children and the father's not in the household, I would suggest maybe sending them to military school, allowing them to play sports and have other male figures around, or maybe even send them to the Muslims. I mean, they're pretty disciplined and I guess they keep order, and I respect it. You may not agree with their religious beliefs, but the way that they keep order and the way that they present, I respect it. So it's important to note that not all children are born out of wedlock. Not all children that are born out of wedlock will experience these problems. Some grow up to be perfectly great individuals, perfectly fine. But again, don't you want to create the best situation or best scenario for your potential children? If so, then I think having the child in a two-parent household is the best way to go. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I can't wait to hear it.